Have you ever had big plans for things that you wanted to accomplish, but just couldn't seem to stay motivated? In this video, I'm going to show you why inspiration is not enough and what you need to be focusing on instead. Hi, I'm Dr. Friesen from Friesen Performance, where I help you achieve your greatest potential by optimizing your psychology, physiology, and neurology. Ever find that you set a goal for yourself and you start off strong, but maybe after a few days or weeks, your motivation peters out? Maybe you decided you wanted to get up 30 minutes earlier each day to work out or exercise. Or maybe you decided you wanted to write a book. But after a few weeks, the motivation starts to drop. You start out with good intentions, you start out strong, but then you end up procrastinating. You know it's important, but you're not sure what went wrong. You start to wonder, maybe I don't have what it takes, or maybe I'm never going to reach my full potential, especially if I can't stay focused and motivated. The truth is, you're not alone. We all struggle with this. I remember when I was in high school, I knew I needed to get good grades, and to do that, I needed to study on a consistent basis, but I couldn't keep motivated. Sometimes I would have watched a motivational video and I'd feel pumped up for a period of time, but that didn't last. It's almost been 3 decades since my high school days. Since then, I've read a ton of self-help books, but I've also been educated as a clinical psychologist, neuropsychologist, and a sport and performance psychologist. It was through these learning experiences, plus working with high-achieving clients and using trial and error, that I finally found what I was doing wrong. And I helped my clients find out what they were doing wrong as well. Setting the goal is the easy part. Staying motivated is the hard part. The reality is, this is how the brain works. We can't stay in this hyped up, motivated state for long periods of time. You may recall this from grade 10 biology. It's called homeostasis. The body needs to stay in a steady state. Think of body temperature. The body regulates itself to make sure our temperature stays within a particular range. The same goes with our emotional responses and our levels of inspiration. The reality is, inspiration doesn't lead to lasting changes. You can't stay motivated this way. In the moment, and maybe for a bit after, you feel really pumped up, you feel inspired. But the problem is, this just doesn't last. Again, it goes against how the brain and body are designed to stay in a steady state. Motivational speakers get paid a lot of money for this, and we often feel amazing during these speeches and after. But it's like when you fall in love. When our minds are hyped up, it's actually our limbic system, which is the mammalian brain. It's an older part of our brain that is the emotional part of our brain. It focuses on reducing pain and increasing pleasure in the immediate moment. It has no real long-term perspective. It's our frontal lobes, these big foreheads we have as humans, that actually do that. That's where we can plan, organize, form goals, decide what our purpose is, what our goals and values are. This is where we want our behaviors to come from. This is why inspirational speeches or motivational videos, they get you really pumped up, but it doesn't lead to lasting change. The brain and body just won't let it. If you like this content, please give it a thumbs up. If you want more content like this, hit the subscribe button. The problem is, when we're in this hyped up state, we can't really see all the hard work it's going to take to get to our goals, all the day in and day out work. Because what's going to happen is, it seems easy at the time when you're feeling motivated and inspired, because you feel like you can conquer the world. And again, that's really important maybe for the first step, which is to get your butt moving, but it won't lead to lasting change. What happens is, our minds become overly optimistic. I'm all about dreaming big, and that's a good first step, but we need to be realistic about what we are going to have to do day in and day out. And after a few days or weeks, our motivation will go down, and it's going to feel really difficult. We're back to reality. Real motivation and progress on our big goals don't come from moments of inspiration. It comes from hard work day in and day out, regardless of how we feel or how inspired we feel. It's not as sexy as we see in the movies. For example, seeing Rocky getting all inspired and pumped up. It just doesn't work that way for most of us. Get the myth that you need to feel inspired and motivated to work on your big goals out of your head. If you buy into this myth, you're not going to reach your full potential. The real secret to staying motivated and productive is to work on your goals no matter what you feel like doing. The most successful people, they make their day-to-day decisions about what to do based on their goals and values, not based on their level of inspiration, their motivation, their energy levels, or what their mind says they can and cannot do. Nike had it right, just do it. So if you wake up in the morning and you've decided your goal was to get in better shape and you're going to get up every day 20 minutes early to do this, your mind is going to come up with all kinds of excuses why you shouldn't. Just do it. Or maybe you said you were going to write a book and you are waiting for the day where you feel inspired, motivated, pumped, and your mind is saying to you, I can do this. This is a great decision to write this book. Everyone's going to read my book. I'm an amazing writer. If you wait for those days, it's not going to happen. When I wrote my book, Achieve, if I only waited for the days I felt inspired, energized, motivated, and my mind was saying positive things to me, for example, you're a great writer, etc., it would take me 100 years to write the book. I had to do it anyways. Just start. That's where real success happens. Because what happens, our limbic system overpredicts how hard something's going to be. It's coming up with all kinds of excuses. Those negative thoughts, such as no one's going to read my book or I can't write, etc., those are from the limbic system trying to protect us in the short term. It doesn't want us to feel any uncomfortable feelings. It reduces pain. That's its goal. But we're bigger than that. We have big frontal lobes. This is why we fly spaceships and chimpanzees don't. We have very large frontal lobes and we can overpower what our limbic system is saying. We base our decisions on our goals and values, not on these other things like motivation, energy, and what our mind says we can do or can't do. You have to know what's important to you. Your values. Values are who I want to be, how I want to act in this world, what's important to me. You also want to know what are your strengths, what are your passions, and what is your mission or purpose in this life? These are the things you want to guide your actions, not your temporary moods. My book, Achieve, goes through a step-by-step process to help you figure this out. It starts off by knowing your personality, which is very, very important. And in future videos, I'm going to go through this in much more detail. But you need to get in touch with who you are, what you really want, and then you need to figure out how to make this happen. This is what my book is about. If you like this content, please give it a thumbs up. If you want more content like this, hit the subscribe button. If you want to learn more about my book, Achieve, I'm going to put a link below with the first 2 chapters of the book. Also, leave any comments in the comments box below, especially any videos or topics you'd like me to cover in upcoming videos. Until next time, keep moving forward.